Okay. Anyway, let's go a little deep into the characters. Okay. As far
Okay.
as those, here's the last three and how I want to think of. I think of ending it. Okay. We start off with Space Ghost again, lead character. He's a distraught father, and now he's searching for Blue Falcon throughout the universe, and he's figuring out the mystery of where Blue Falcon is, so that he can just do Blue Falcon in. All right. They do fight, and in their fighting, Spectre emerges because there's enough energy for Spectre to come over. He doesn't stay because of the energy drain, and he ends up going back. Elsewhere, like in Birdman, Birdman feels that energy drain. Okay?
Got it.
Right. And that's when we start learning that Birdman is a key. And then they have to overcome how to get Birdman to Ghost Mountain to potentially fight Space Ghost. And that's his movie, to fight with Space Ghost. And then the Herculoids, it becomes rescue Space Ghost. They run, rescue Space Ghost. Space Ghost ends up fighting Spectre, and we have whatever becomes the tension between the positive universe and the negative universe, and how we actually pull that, because I don't have a mechanism for that part yet. That's some of the little work that I thought that you and I would end up doing. That dynamic gets resolved, but that in that format, because the Herculoids get transported to Ghost Planet where everything gets resolved. So what I don't have is the culture and technology on Ghost Planet, because there, as far as I know, isn't any backstory for Ghost Planet. So all that gets built. Go, go, go.
There is a backstory per se. In the, I think it was 2004, 2005, DC Comics did a 5 or 6 issue Space Ghost miniseries. And in that Space Ghost miniseries, the premise of Space Ghost is that initially Space Ghost was a galactic cop, as you know, the premise you're laying out here, but the cops that Space Ghost worked with were corrupt. And they wanted Space Ghost's character, actually Space Ghost has a name. Space Ghost's name is Thaddeus. Thaddeus Bach is Space Ghost's given name.
No, not for the movie.
I'm just saying, hey, I didn't make the name up. I'm just telling you what it is. And initially, Space Ghost's wife is killed, and he's left for dead. And Space Ghost ends up on Ghost Planet, where this being who is the last denizen of the Ghost Planet takes Space Ghost, nurses him back to health, introduces him to all of this technology that he's created, i.e. the power bands, the Phantom Cruiser, the technology that Space Ghost uses, peripheral things, so on and so forth. And Space Ghost says, this is the perfect thing for me to use to take revenge on these cats who killed my wife. Simultaneously, while that's going on, the very thing that you described, an invasion by Zorak's forces, and it's just a swarm of like just praying mantis creatures killing everything for the sake of killing it. But Space Ghost is like, I ain't gonna worry about that right now. I got to get this cat who killed my wife. And he does that. And then he goes to quell the swarm. And over the course of quelling the swarm, he's rescuing people and saving people. And that's when he finds Jan and Jace. And he rescues Jan and Jace from the swarm, and he takes them back to Ghost Planet, and that's how they become his young wards. And that initially is the origin story of Space Ghost.
That's beautiful.
And there is also a comic book currently in production by DC Comics called Future Quest. And Future Quest is the very thing that we are discussing right now. It is a connected Hanna Barbera universe, and it uses space travel, time travel, and interdimensional travel to bring the different characters in the Hanna Barbera Parthenon together to fight common enemies. So, say for instance, if I'm Johnny Quest and I want to go and help Space Ghost fight Metalis, there is technology for me to step into, and I can arrive on Ghost Planet or on Quasar or on Azimuth and come assist, because Dr. Benton Quest in the comics is just that damn smart.
See. I think that Spectre is being helped by the coalition of mad science villains, because they really were prolific in the Hanna-Barbera universe. Lots of villains were mad scientists. So yeah, because he's that darn smart. There's a lot of help that's needed to suspend disbelief for this.
Indeed.
Work.
And I know.
How did he's human? Here's my problem with this. How does he breathe? Is it the air that's got the right content all the time, every time, in every dimension?
Okay. Real easy fix. We are operating under the premise that Space Ghost is a human being.
He is a human being.
He's humanoid.
Humanoid? What the hell that mean?
That means he looks like a human, he behaves like a human, but his physiology may be different than that of an Earth human. Where Space Ghost is from, they might actually be durable enough to survive in space. Just a thought. Because I ain't never, ever seen Space Ghost in no kind of equipment that he needed to allow him to breathe in space. I would think everything in his costume is all that he needs to allow him to breathe, function, move, and have his being in outer space. If Jen and Jace can do it, obviously the technology's there.
Oh my God, I hear you. You're okay. Yes, that's true. It's like the Hanna-Barbera just gave these people just extraordinary powers. So extraordinary. So yes.
Well, you have to understand, in 1965, 66, belief of a lot of things was just suspended. Okay, I'm going to assume that it's possible for this dog to talk. I'm going to assume that it's possible for this ant to be super strong and pick up a safe. You know, so you have to look. Back then, you looked at cartoons, and when you saw extraordinary, crazy stuff like that, it was just, oh, it's the cartoon. That's what's happening. Adam Ant is picking up a tree, and I'm not questioning it, because even though I know that's impossible, and I don't have no backstory on Adam Ant, you know what I'm saying? So I just have to accept that this ant can pick up a tree. You know, and see, we in the 90s and the 2000s and the 2010s, we've become this generation of, you got to break it down. You got to explain it to me. It's got to have a beginning, middle, and an end. Back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, they didn't care about that kind of stuff. They just made cartoons. I still, to this very day, and I know it's off topic, to this very day, I love SWAT Cats. I love that show. It's if you've never watched SWAT Cats, basically the premise, here you go. The premise of it, the entire universe is cats.
Okay.
Anthropomorphic cats.
Do they go to the zoo?
And you know what? I would love to see, you know, there is an episode where the villain mutated something in the zoo, and it busted out of the zoo, and the SWAT cats had to go. Yeah, so 100% suspension of belief. You've just got to suspend your belief at some points. We don't believe in fairy tales no more because reality has been too harsh to us.
That's horrible, man. Okay. To bring it back, I'm thinking that the driving force of the invasion thing is the swapping of the negative or the ultimate bad guy being Spectre, negative energy, and the positive energy of this current universe. So in the movie, in the cartoon, because I went back and looked at that episode, Spectre on the negative universe side is a very good ultimate villain in that nobody else in the negative side knows what he knows, which is that he can pull stuff from the positive side, and it happens through black holes. So they can, as long as there's an even exchange, boom, you can go over. The thing is that you still remain your same person, your same personality with the same backstory. Okay, so I was thinking that part of the exchange is finding host beings like Zorax and Moltar, or Moltar is finding specific characters. So that's how some characters die, is that their doppelganger gets crossed over to the negative side. And they're not there to cross, they're not there, so they get pulled in to replace.